All right.
We're going to reconvene the Pasco County meeting. We're going to do two quick presentations. I'm going to start with the Food Policy Council first, and then we'll get into David Engel's presentation, Economic ROI.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Rich Jenkins, Planning, Development, and Economic Growth. I'm here to present the Food Policy Advisory Council's annual report and introduce our chairman, or chairwoman, and vice chair, Nicole Doobie and Jennifer Parker. I'm going to let them do the actual presentation because our resolution requires them to. So.
Awesome. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Nice to see you all again. I met most of you through Leadership Pasco. So the purpose of the Food Policy Advisory Council, or FPAC, is to support an accessible, resilient local food system here in Pasco County. Our duties are to make recommendations to government bodies about policies, support the development and expansion of locally produced foods here in Pasco, review proposed legislation and regulations that affect the food system, connect economic development, food security efforts, preservation and enhancement of agricultural lands while addressing environmental concerns, inform, gather, and share information on community food systems. Some of our programs and initiatives include the Plants for Pints, which is a monthly plant exchange hosted at Ordinance 1 in Newport Richey and is regularly attended by about 15 to 20 people. One of the other things we worked hard on this last year was to fulfill our open positions. So out of the 7, we filled 4 of them, and there are 3 vacant positions. The reappointments and appointments were approved by the board on a consent agenda today. We also reviewed the food policy. We did a food policy crosswalk, and we looked at urban agricultural policies. And this review helped industry practitioners to provide comments to staff for the Backyards Chicken Ordinance in August of 2025. We also reviewed House Bill 89 and followed it carefully, as it would have allowed for small footprint grocery stores to go into food in areas to provide more access to healthy, nutrient-dense foods. That bill, unfortunately, did not attract a Senate companion, but was refiled in November of 2025. The FPAC will also continue to follow this and other food system and agriculture-related bills currently in the 2026 legislation session. Our most successful event was our 2nd annual Food Summit, which was hosted on the east side of the county at the One Stop Shop, where there was a tour of the Farm Den and Commercial Kitchen, which Bill Cronin mentioned earlier as an incubator for food entrepreneurs. All of the refreshments were #picked in Pasco by local farm and provided by local farmers such as Theo's Harvest, Shady Oaks, who are here today, and Rosebud Continuum. A representative from Congressman Bill Arakis' office was in attendance and said this was very informative and enjoyable. Speakers included myself talking about our nonprofit Access to Fresh and how we are focused on being an aggregator and distributor of local produce and connecting it to areas such as schools and hospital systems. Charles Zeider from the Museum of Archaeology, Paleontology, and Science captivated audiences and attendees on a talk of the Mayan agricultural practices and how it relates to our modern food systems. Lastly, Tanner, a local farmer here in Newport Richey, Tanner Kaufman, he owns Theo's Harvest, was also presented and demonstrated how small-scale agriculture can feed families and support local economies. FPAC does invite you to, we're missing a slide there, but FPAC does invite you to our meetings. We're there every month at the Land O'Lakes County Utilities Building. Our next meeting is February 13th from 2 to 3:30, and our food summit is April 16th from 5 to 7:30 at Rosebud Continuum. Lastly, I would like to thank the Department of Planning and Development and Economic Growth for their support and guidance as we focus on agricultural policy as a tool for economic growth and resilience here in Pasco County. I'm happy to take any questions, but I know we're on a tight timeline.
All right, any questions?
No questions, but great job.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Very good. Okay, and now we'll hear from David Engel, our 37. Pasco reentry jobs and ROI update.
Good afternoon, David Engel, Planning and Economic Growth Director. At the board's workshop last Tuesday, we had an agenda action item to respond to a request to appear here to discuss return on investment as it relates to the job skills and training program that's funded here through the county. So I took the opportunity to just focus on 3 items that we do when we deliver job skills training. One is the Career Source job skills training program. It's called Pasco Reentry. What it does is it upskills currently employed county residents or gets people back in the labor force that are unemployed, whether they be former incarcerated individuals or people that have lost their job. It's highly successful. The other area that we focus on is advanced manufacturing training through AmSkills, through apprenticeships and direct assistance to businesses. As you'll see in the metrics in a little bit, that is getting traction and making a big impact on our community. And lastly, the Pasco Economic Development Council provides a Direct Connect, which is it's almost like an online dating service, bringing employers and people looking for jobs together. So it's like a clearinghouse, and that's been very good. And all 3 of these programs operate collaboratively. They're not functioning independently. There's a nexus there to get better outcomes working together. Now, I just wanted to focus on the reentry program because that focuses directly on people in the disadvantaged population, homelessness, and also people that are coming out of prison, et cetera. And it's been really effective. To date, we've had enormous traction on the program. We've had 638 people go through it since 2018. Vulnerable disadvantaged are 86% of the people that attend this training program. That's 86% of the people there. And the miraculous and remarkable number and metric here is that 97% of the people going through the system retain their jobs over a year. So there's traction there. They're just not taking a job and leaving 3 months later. And if you see that metric there, $41,900 is the average since its inception, but it's really gone up in the last year. It's now $48,572, so it's a $7,000 increase. And as wages go up, these people that are going through this training program are tracking that. Lastly, 229 homeless people since 2019 are trained, skilled, and off the street, which has a tremendous impact on an ROI because there's a lot of indirect costs associated with homelessness that the county bears. And here is the ROI sheet, which is really very illustrative. So to calculate the ROIs between 2 different programs, that's AmSkills and Career Source, we had to take somewhat of a unique methodology because each one of them tracked their ROIs differently. So what we did was we looked at the impact of the employment side. We didn't look at direct and indirect, but just straight benefits to the local economy based on employment. And Career Source is doing a great job. Their overall average is $9,000 in a placement. They're down to $7,000 now, so they've been doing cost effectively, reducing the cost of training and getting it into an output area. And their ROI is $13.13 for every dollar we give them, and that's exceptional. AmSkills, same methodology, looking at the impact of jobs and wages, and you would note that AmSkills average jobs are higher because they're manufacturing jobs. Their ROI on placed individuals is 22 times, and you can see that they have 158 direct placements since we've been funding them since 2014. So that's my presentation. Just wanted to give you a sense of what we're doing, what we continue to do with very high ROIs to the community. Thank you.
So David, thank you for that. And a couple of things that stick out that, and I'll get to the ROI number in a second, but 97% of the people have a job after being trained after a year.
That's right, sir.
That's a phenomenal rate. And that income of an average income now, $48,000 for a manufacturing job, another great program with AmSkills as well.
Yes, and AmSkills has a 51% retention rate, and that's excellent too. Anything over 50% is higher than the industry standard for job skills training.
Yeah. And again, 13 to 1 for career source and 22 to 1 for AM skills as far as return on investment.
That's correct, sir.
I tell you, this data is great, and I think it'll help us hopefully in the future. Any other thoughts or questions?
I'm curious about that 51% employed, but anyway,
Well, we get that right out of the data that
Yeah.
AmSkills reports to us.
I thought it was higher than that. But I love the return on investment. 22 is huge, yeah.
Well, we can only get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Now we're going to go to the public hearings. First one is item P37.
P37, we have proof of publication in the Tampa Bay Times, issue of November 5th, 2025, supplemented by an affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Good afternoon, Amy Toll with Planning, Development, and Economic Growth. Item P37 is the adoption hearing for an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan, providing for a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to the future land use map, map 2-15 and sheet 10, from Res 6, residential 6 dwelling units per gross acre, to COM commercial on approximately 1.72 acres of real property located on the north side of Ridge Road, approximately 180 feet east of the intersection of Broad Street and Ridge Road, and providing for additional text amendments as necessary for internal consistency, providing for a repealer, severability, and an effective date. This comes to you with a recommendation to accept public comment and adopt the ordinance by roll call vote.
Okay, we want to have a quick presentation? Good. Okay, this is the one we had the right-of-way thoughts with before?
This one is Ridge Road and Broad Street, a small-scale COM. You might be thinking Little and Ross, which is also right here.
No, okay. This is the one I'm thinking
Okay.
of, but okay.
Gotcha.
All right. All right,
We have no one signed up in advance nor online.
okay. Anyone from the audience like to speak to this item? Okay, it's to the board.
Move approval.
Second. And roll call vote?
It is a roll call. Commissioner Oakley, District 1.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Chairman Mariano.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Item P38.
P38, we have proof of publication in the Tampa Bay Times on November 5th, 2025, supplemented by an affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
All right, so P38 is also an adoption hearing for a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan, providing for a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to the future land use map, map 2-15 and sheet 10, changing from COM commercial and Res 9, residential 9 dwelling units per gross acre, to Res 6, residential 6 dwelling units per gross acre, on approximately 26.2 acres of real property located approximately 600 feet east of the intersection of Little Road and Ross Lane, and providing for additional text amendments as necessary for internal consistency, providing for repealer, severability, and an effective date. This comes to you with a recommendation to accept public comment and adopt by roll call vote. The MPUD rezoning does have a companion, or there is a companion MPUD rezoning, item P43, with this one as well. And there's a presentation if necessary.
Okay, I'd like to see the presentation,
Okay,
and especially and with P43 as well.
okay. Ross Lane.
Good afternoon, Hyatt Mazzilli, Planning, Development, and Economic Growth, and I will be presenting item P38. We'll start with the project's overview. Thank you, Gina. So the applicant is proposing a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use designation from Res 9, residential 9 dwelling unit per gross acre, and COM, commercial, to Res 6, residential 6 dwelling unit per gross acre. And the intent of this proposal is to create a unified residential future land use designation to allow for the development of 74 single-family detached units on approximately 26.2 acres site. This site is located on Ross Lane, approximately 600 feet east of Little Road. As Amy mentioned, there is a companion rezoning petition to MPUD in the name of DRB Little and Ross MPUD. This map shows the general location of the subject site, which is located in the West Market area and within the urban service area. This is a zoomed-in aerial of the location of the subject site. As you can see, the site is just north of our government building. It is situated south of Ridge Road, east of Little Road, and just north of Ross Lane. And this map provides the existing context surrounding the subject site, which is currently undeveloped. The surrounding area includes a mixture of uses, with commercial development to the north along Ridge Road and to the west along Little Road. And we have the Crescent residential community located to the east of the subject site. Although not shown on this map, the VA hospital is located to the south of the subject site. Next, we have this slide that illustrates the existing transportation network. There is an existing sidewalk located along the east side of Little Road. There are no sidewalks along Ross Lane. However, the applicant is proposing to construct a sidewalk on the north side of Ross Lane, and specific details of this sidewalk will be addressed during the MPUD presentation. This is a map showing the existing future land use. As you can see, a portion of the site is COM, commercial, and the rest is Res 9. COM is also to the north and the west of the subject site.
And how much is commercial, acreage-wise?
As far as the COM,
Yes.
or the COM is about 376,358 square feet. The entire site is 26.2 acres.
All right, so acres to acres, how much?
Approximately 14 and a half acres. Thank you. This is a map showing the proposed future land use. The entire subject site is proposed to be residential, 6 dwelling unit per gross acre. And Res 6 aligns with the surrounding densities and the suburban development pattern in the area. So after review and analysis, the Planning, Development, and Economic Growth Department found the proposed amendment to be consistent with the following comprehensive plan policies. Res 6, Policy Flu 1.4.3, Policy Flu 1.8.7, Policy Flu 1.8.10, and Policy Flu 8.1.1. So based on the comprehensive plan consistency analysis, staff recommend the board to accept public comment and adopt the proposed comprehensive plan amendment and ordinance by roll call vote. And I'm happy to answer any other questions unless you would like to hear the MPUD presentation and then.
I think I'd like to go right to the MPUD. Let's do
Okay,
that.
thank you.
We have proof of publication of the hearing of this matter in the November 5th, 2025 edition of the Tampa Bay Times, supplemented by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Good afternoon, William Vermillion, Planning Development, Economic Growth. This is the companion MPD rezoning to the previously mentioned CPA PDE 267893. The location map. This is a rezoning request from AC Agricultural and C2 General Commercial to MPUD Master Development District to allow for the maximum development of 74 single-family detached homes and associated infrastructure on approximately 26.2 acres. Those single-family detached homes are a minimum of 60 feet in width. This is located in the Western Market area, butting the northeast corner of Little Road and Ross Lane intersection. Here's the location map. You can see out towards Little Road, some of that commercial property has already been commercially subdivided. And then as you move further west onto Ross Lane, or further east onto Ross Lane, you find the subject site highlighted in red. It is the site of an old tree farm. The current zoning map and the current future land use map reflecting the Res 9 and commercial flues on the subject site. Here is the contextual map. To the north, to orient the commission, exists the hardware store with the commercial subdivision happening as you move further west along Little Road. And then on the southern portion, south of Ross Lane, exists the Veterans Affair building. Here is the MPUD master plan, which roughly highlights the internal street network here, as well as some of the pedestrian improvements, but it's further illustrated here on the binding concept plan showing those 60-foot minimum single-family detached lots, as well as the sidewalk along Ross Lane, both along the entirety of the project's frontage, as well as that yellow piece as you move towards the commercial subdivision. The applicant is building off-site sidewalk to fill the gap there with the commercial piece for mobility fee credits. The on-site portion, of course, not mobility fee creditable. The red portion that you can see up to the north is an 8-foot walking path, a nature trail that will provide further pedestrian connection to the commercial subdivision that's already occurred alongside Little Road. And then to the north of that pond, in orange, we can see the internal 6-foot trail that's proposed along the north side of that pond that comes down through that, what could have been a lot green space as you connect onto one of those internal roads. This is a connectivity exhibit provided by the applicant with drone shots that overlays those same color coordination to the 8-foot, 6-foot, and 5-foot of the pedestrian facilities that we're talking about being constructed with this project as it pertains to the site aerially. You can see they're highlighted in orange, in red, and then in green and yellow along the project frontage. There is one LDC variation with this project from 9016D11 street design and dedication requirements. The applicant requests to not provide a vehicular interconnection to the north or to the west.
If you would stay on that slide for a second.
The variation slide?
I've got an issue with not connecting. So if you would, again, our code says they should be connecting. We're letting them, they're seeking a variation of that. Would you go back to the slide that showed the layout? Right there. So there's a road that runs north-south that they could connect to, correct?
I believe you're talking about King Healy that runs north-south on the,
I'm talking about in the development right now. Go up from
oh, internal to the development?
internal to development.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you got options on a roadway going right to the front from where the green open park space kind of like jelts in and goes all the way up to the blue area where the drainage area is. There's opportunities there to connect to a roadway, correct?
There would be an opportunity, I guess I hadn't finished my justification for the variation, but
I know.
so to the north of that is the, if I could go back to the aerial here, that's actually, it would spit the residents out right into the loading zone of the Lowe's. They use that side access, and if we could zoom in or go to Mapper, it'd be helpful. But you can see that that's actually their loading area. It's pretty narrow, and it's going to be a bunch of semi trucks and larger box trucks delivering goods there. You can see there on the right there with that delivery bay where they stack all their old pallets. So that was one of the reasons staff didn't feel like a connection was feasible to the north.
And that's to the north. Okay, so let's talk to the west, because that's my biggest issue is the west.
Can you, oh, let me take it back to the binding plan. Are you guys controlling it or I am? I am. Okay. I appreciate it.
So so let's look at the west part. The west part comes out into a small little roadway that would get them to all the commercial in this whole area.
Yeah, but I
Get them off Ross Lane, get them off to the side, no big trucks running through there, and they can get on there and save all those trips to go in there. Pedestrian's great, but I don't think if you're gonna go to Lowe's and pick up some 2x4s, et cetera, you're gonna be coming back and carrying those things back in a bicycle cart or something else. So to have all that commercial right there, to take these people out on Ross Lane, when I don't need to not put them in there, I don't know why you guys would allow them to go against our code and look for a variation with that. I would have made them put that in there, and I think this board, Commissioner Stark, we talk all the time about how we try to
Well-
interconnect.
I did talk to the applicant's attorney during lunchtime about that same thing, and I think when she comes up to present, she's going to tell you they're prohibited to connect by the property owners. Is that part of your presentation?
I'm going to let the applicant speak to those legalities.
I can't imagine
Yeah, they don't want
having
them.
commercial property, that's supposed to be commercial property, not connecting to that roadway. Does that make any sense to anybody? Think about it. They're converting commercial property along that slot, and they're gonna tell me that I have the commercial property and I can't connect? Absolutely absurd.
Well,
Sure. If I may, staff's variation analysis, its support didn't hinge upon the legalities of a connection being provided by some kind of property owners or commercial associations prohibitions in an ECR. However, our justification relied upon we could go back to the binding concept
Let
plan.
me stop you for a second. Go back to where you showed the commercial parcel of the property that is along that roadway. Go back
You guys
to,
take me back to that map.
there's another slide that shows before development, what part is commercial, what's part residential.
Do the future land use map where it shows the calm polygon. Thank you. Sure. So
So if I'm looking at that piece of property that says commercial, and I own that piece of property, you're gonna say that I don't have the right, you think they got the right not to connect to that property right beside it?
this applicant,
If it's a private road and they don't
well,
have,
that commercial piece is a portion of this application, so it would no longer have the commercial flu. It'll be a part of this residential development.
I don't think that's what he's saying.
I'm just saying, if I own
The
that
commercial piece.
if I have that commercial piece,
Are you speaking of the portion highlighted in red or the out parcels there in yellow?
I think I'm looking at the part that says calm. That's right there. And those 4 lots that are right to the side of it that are beige, that slot that's right in there, that commercial piece of property all the way through, there's a roadway right in front of it, and we don't think they have a right to connect to that?
Well, so that commercial portion is a part of this.
I know.
Okay,
What
so
I'm saying is, you're saying a residential can't connect to it.
Well, I
What
had
I'm
a-
telling you is, before we change this
Like that.
over, that if I've got a commercial piece of property, I got to think I got rights to connect to that.
Well, I can let the applicant speak to the legalities behind the ECR. I'd still like to go through the staff variation analysis outside of the ECR as to why we would support this request, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Good.
Let him do his presentation.
Thank you. So, could I have the binding concept plan up, please? So, PDE felt that the preservation of open space that's being enhanced by the nature trail, as well as accommodating a pedestrian feature to the commercial site, was worth not having the connection when the connection is going to be made via Ross Lane on the organically forming internal frontage road that's happening via commercial subdivision that would allow vehicular access to go north and south rather than circulate through this neighborhood, which could be accessed by pedestrians to the commercial out parcels. If one needed to go to Lowe's, you'd simply get on Ross Lane, where in the CIP we are signalizing that intersection, and then go straight north to Lowe's without having to get onto Little Road.
So you think it's better to go down Ross Lane, which has got another neighborhood behind it, got a VA, all 74 lots going through, to go out here on Little Road, take a right turn back in, then when they're gonna return, they're gonna go back on Little Road, take a left turn, and a left turn in again, as opposed to driving internally, going right to Lowe's. You think that's a better way to go?
I don't know if I directionally followed you there.
If
What I can tell you is that
Let me help.
there's
you.
a, in-
Let me help you. I'm going to explain it to you. If I'm inside that development and I have a connection to the road that's in front of this property, and I can go take a right turn and go right into Lowe's, I think it's a lot quicker, simpler, and easier coming back, I'll say, in the same internal road, staying off Ross Lane, staying off Little Road, no turns and no extra demand on the traffic that's out there. It's the connectivity which we talk about all the time, neighborhoods to neighborhoods. I'm talking about a residential neighborhood connected to the commercial that's right there.
Well, with this proposal, with the organic internal frontage roads that's happening, in this scenario, you wouldn't have to go back out on Little Road, whether you're going to or from Lowe's.
How are you going to get there?
Yep, just take a right out onto Ross. It's about 500 feet right onto the internal frontage road, and then you go north without getting on Little Road. The street pattern is as organically formed through commercial subdivision of that piece that's grayed out there.
I'm still going on Ross Road, though.
But happy to let the applicant speak to the ECR as to the legality of their connection. I just wanted to make sure that staff's point was clear that outside of that ECR, these were the reasons that we were amenable to the applicant's request.
Tell me about the intersection Ross Lane, Little Road. What's going to be out there?
Sure, so there is 30% signal plans that are done for the signalization of that intersection, and it's on the CIP in fiscal year '27 to be complete, as well as those the aforementioned pedestrian improvements that are occurring along Ross Lane. The VA built their portion to the south to their access point, as well as a portion of this, I guess some textbook cleanup had to happen. The Ross Lane wasn't actually on the county maintenance schedule, and I know that within a month or two, the resolution is going to be brought forward to bring this county road back onto the county maintenance schedule.
At the intersection on the lanes going out, is there 2 lanes or 1 lane at the intersection?
Sure, as a part of that design, they are contemplating additional lanes to help capacity there. So it's for right turn movement, left turn movement, and a through.
Right, I'm going to have 74 cars plus the neighborhood plus the VA, and to reduce the stacking, I would think that we would automatically put in that we would have a right turn lane and a left turn lane to be able to go out.
Yes, sir. The turn lanes are a part of that design for that intersection.
Okay, so it's not just being contemplated, being designed.
Yeah, we already have 30% design for that intersection, yes, sir. This comes to you with the recommendation of approval from Planning Development Economic Growth and the Planning Commission. I'm here for any questions.
I did have one question. I already, I wanted the same thing, Commissioner, the connectivity, but I think you're going to hear that's not possible. But can you go back to just the previous map? Okay, that one. You're showing, what is this connection here? Because isn't that is that north of, what is that gated community there? I had some friends that used to live in there. Crescent Forest. That road is connecting into Crescent Forest, or is this past Crescent Forest?
That's actually past Crescent Forest. There's one home back there
Yes.
for the access, and then the rest of the neighborhood uses Ross Lane.
So there is a future connection happening here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I got one anyway.
For 1 home?
No. Is that only for one home?
It's for, that property could be redeveloped. It's a large property. At some point in time, it could be redeveloped, and the connection will be easier to be made with this stub out.
Oh, I see, it's what,
'Cause we'll need access.
okay, so that's one big piece. All right. Well, I think you need to hear from the applicant, but I am going to talk to them about street trees.
All right. And
I learned we don't require,
Any other questions for staff?
which I'm going to make them.
All right, let's hear from the applicant.
Thank you.
Heck yeah.
Good afternoon. Since you're hearing the MPUD at the same time, do you want to swear us in?
We can do that.
At this time, if there are anyone in the audience that expects to speak to any of the rezoning items that are going to be coming up, if you would please stand. Again, if you anticipate speaking to any of the zoning items on the agenda, if you'd please rise and raise your right hand. Do you and each of you swear to tell the truth in the matters being presented, so help you God?
I do.
At the time you come forward, if you please, when you give your name and your address, if you please acknowledge that you were sworn. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, do you want to do procedures at this point, too?
Let's do procedures.
There are 2 rezoning agendas, regular and consent. Staff will present each application to the Board of County Commissioners. If staff or Planning Commission has recommended approval and there is no opposition, the application will be considered by the board without further presentation. If staff or Planning Commission has recommended denial, or if there is opposition to the application, the applicant will be given 5 minutes for presentation. The opposition will be given 3 minutes for each individual or 5 minutes for a group representative, and the applicant will be given 3 minutes for rebuttal. Any individual disagreeing with staff or Planning Commission recommendation, or anyone wishing to object to any condition of the rezoning, may at this time request the petition be pulled from the consent agenda, in which case that application will be heard under the regular agenda later on during the meeting. Otherwise, all rezoning applications on the consent agenda will be approved by a single motion and vote. If you wish to speak to any petition, please give your name and address and whether or not you've been sworn for the record. These are quasi-judicial public hearings. The law in Florida is that mere public support or opposition of an application is insufficient for this board to take action. Please limit your comments to those criteria found within the board's land development code.
Okay. To the applicant.
Barbara Wilhite, 6327 Grand Boulevard, Newport Richey, for the applicant. This is just an overall context slide. I think staff has already shown you a similar slide. This one's just backed out a little bit more, where you can see the VA to the south, the commercial development to the west, the newer commercial development to the west, and then the more legacy development more towards the north. As staff showed you, that is the zoning map. You can see the little bit of commercial. I would call that remnant commercial. What happens is when the county sets zoning district lines and comp plan lines, it doesn't necessarily match the depth of the commercial. This depth has been defined as the commercial that exists to our west. And so that's why you see that overlap. And there's the COM overlap. Under the current future land use, the property could have 421 dwelling units. We're proposing 74, and 82% less in dwelling units. I can tell you we had a voluntary neighborhood meeting, and given what other people have proposed on this property, a lot of our neighbors are very happy that we're doing 60-foot single-family homes to their beautiful homes to our east, single-family detached to single-family detached, and that we've got such a low density compared to what could be here. The future land use provides for a very large, on a calculation standpoint, a very large amount of square feet. The current height, there's no maximum height because this is in the urban service area. We're proposing 2 stories. As I mentioned, 74 single-family homes, 60-foot lots on 6,000 square foot, 60-foot lots on 6,000 square foot lots. We have produced a binding concept plan. We're exceeding policy memo PM 26. To answer Commissioner Starkey, she had me look at street trees. PM 26 actually is not required for 60-foot lots, but we are complying with it. But your PM 26 requires 2 trees per lot. One can be in the front, 2 can be in the front. One can be in the front, one can be in the side or the rear, but there is no requirement for a street tree. You can use your front tree in the street if you'd like, or on the front of your lot. At the request of the commissioner, we anticipate this is going to be a very nice subdivision. We will add a street tree.
Thank you.
We need to work out that language with
addition.
staff. Yes, it's an addition. So
Yeah.
the current conditions say there's 2 trees required. We'll add a 3rd tree and require that that one be a street tree.
I want to make sure it's not a crepe myrtle or an understory tree. It's a shade tree.
Yes, that's fine. We do need to work on the specifics of that language. Hopefully, if you approve this today, we can work that out in the final details. But the client is happy to do that. So we're exceeding PM 26. It doesn't apply with that. We have the monoton control, the architectural features, the HOA manage of our on-street parking, all the things that you put into PM 26. These are example elevations of our 60-foot product. You can see we're bringing back the 3-car garages, which I used to have a home, but before I bought my home in Gulf Harbors, it had a 3-car garage. A very nice product. This is the binding concept plan that you've looked at. I think staff has gone over the connectivity pedestrian connectivity. There were gaps in the pedestrian connectivity that we have filled in. I think there's a better way to show it, which is the drone aerial shots that Tampa Civil did. So this is the built environment. When you look at, this is looking to the east, and we've got Little Road going north-south. Ross Lane is to our right. And the commercial development, when you heard staff talking about this organic reverse frontage road, it is an actual requirement. What's interesting is the commercial project to our west and all of the commercial development to the north are part of a declaration. This property is not, even though it has COM on it, is not part of that declaration. I am under oath, so what I'm telling you is factual. I have a legal opinion. We didn't just say this. The county attorney's office made us prove it. We proved, and to their satisfaction, that this property is not part of that declaration and does not have legal access to their private, and they're not roads, they're driveways, they're private driveways.
Can you
So-
explain what a declaration is? Because that's not something we're used to.
You could call it a covenant of restrictions. It is a, what, I'm not a transactional attorney.
Deed restriction, basically.
Deed restriction.
It's a recorded document that has conditions for that specific development, much like you're used to seeing as an MPUD condition, except it only applies to the property that it attaches to and is recorded in advance of sale of lots.
And so when the commercial development came forward, because I represent the commercial development, the county made sure that this reverse frontage road was put in. There was a gap that they didn't own on Wendy's property. Because they were all subject to the same declaration, this property does not have the benefit of the subject property that we're rezoning. Wendy's had to accommodate that leg of the driveway that goes up to King Healy, the light at King Healy. So very purposefully, the county said, Mr. Hassan Gale, he was here, said there will be a reverse frontage road going from Ross, so anybody on Ross Lane doesn't have to get out, including this project, does not have to get out on Little Road and can go up and through here. So the vehicular connectivity having its own frontage road is going in and will be there. There was gaps in the pedestrian network.
And why is
So,
why was there gaps?
so there's
What
two
happened?
gaps. One is
That's
on
what
Ross
happened.
Lane. Because your prior code, I don't know if I think they fixed it when they just redid your code doing with pedestrian facilities. But when a project comes in for development, there's a requirement that they put sidewalk in. So
Yeah.
I don't remember what the corner is, if it's Chipotle or what the user was at that corner of Little and Ross, but they're in for review. That one, they had to do a sidewalk. But behind them was a pond, and so they didn't trigger the sidewalk.
We have to fix
So,
that.
so,
Administrator.
but I think they've been on this, this has happened a bit ago, but under the old code. So we came in and we'll say, look, we don't want our folks walking in the dirt. We're gonna put a sidewalk in, then we'll put the extension of the sidewalk off-site. So that is provided for. When you look at the frontage road has pedestrian facilities into it.
I think it Mike's.
Push it up just a
There
little
you
bit.
go.
There you go.
My laptop's getting in the way. The frontage road has a pedestrian facility into it, up to the point where they put the driveway in on Wendy's property, no pedestrian facility. So they get another gap. So, we don't just kind of put these things to you. We actually look at them and try to make sure things make sense and that we do what we need to do. So here where the red is, that's a gap. So when if we didn't fix that, folks would come down and walk along the new frontage road and then walk in the dirt or on the road to get to Lowe's. So we're fixing that with this project. That'll be an 8-foot path. Red is 8-foot path. We're bringing an 8-foot path out of our project and then putting the new 8-foot path, so there'll be pedestrian facility all along that reverse frontage road, the reverse frontage road, and that's what we are doing as part of our project. So I hope that answers the questions. I would just say the other thing interesting about that declaration is it's not an association, it's an ownership, and at least 6 to 8 property owners, national property owners. When the commercial folks came in, they worked with just Wendy's because they were already benefiting from that declaration. But it took them, I don't know, a year,
Yeah.
2 years to get the approval from Wendy's to put in
Yeah.
the road that was contemplated by the declaration. So,
It's kind of crazy that.
all those property owners, and when you look at King Healy as you come up to the light between Wendy's and KFC, that road, that property where the road is owned by Kentucky Fried Chicken. So it's not just like so simple to say, you should, it makes sense to, we can't.
All right, so do me a favor, just go back to the previous slide.
Mhm.
So from that angle, so where the red line is heading to the north,
Yes.
that property is partially commercial now, correct?
Part of our parcel has commercial zoning on it. It's about 5.7 acres of commercial zoning, and part of it has a COM land use, 14 acres of COM land use. The zoning and the land use don't match. The ownership lines and the
Okay.
future land use
so-
doesn't match.
But where it says, it's on the left side of the screen, it says 8-foot wide bicycle pedestrian access that you have right there. That section right there, is that commercial now or is that residential?
That zoning is commercial.
Okay. So my straight question is this: if it stayed commercial, would they have access to get to
No.
there, no matter what?
They're kind of landlocked
Okay.
then.
No.
What, that's kind of crazy.
Well, that's
Well, they come out to Ross.
because sometimes, a lot of times our zoning district lines, our land use lines don't match property ownership lines, and this is an example of that.
Okay. And I'll say for everyone to know, Barbara and I did have this discussion. You were going to check to it. I never heard back from you, so I don't know, and we're hearing it today.
Perfectly, we've been asked this question a bunch. So it's an absolutely appropriate question. The county attorney's asked it, staff asked it, so we are,
And our commercial,
Ready to
I mean,
explain it.
and our attorneys agree that there is no access that can be had.
David, I'm assuming you've reviewed this.
Is that it's, there was no reason in the opinion, so I can't say whether I agree or disagree.
but we hired, because I don't do real estate, so it wasn't my opinion. The client hired real estate counsel to give a legal opinion, and they put a legal opinion signed by them and their firm that this property is not benefiting or subject to that declaration, it's not part of that declaration, which I knew, because I've been representing this property before it was single-family homes, when it was multifamily rentals. For the sake of the property owners around, and I think hopefully the county, everybody's very happy with this client and the single-family detached homes. They hired a real estate counsel and a fine law firm to review the issue and issue a legal opinion.
But
Which
if-
they did.
but to get to the commissioner's point, if they have no easements of record, they can't connect to the commercial,
No matter what the land use or there's
no matter what the,
Okay.
it's, you know.
But,
If-
All right, that's why I wanted to make sure, because it just doesn't make
I
sense to me. but-
I can't tell you that that's the facts, but what Barbara is saying is the commercial property that it currently exists is under one easement, one covenant document which provides for the easements. This property is excluded from it, in which case they would have to purchase the right to connect to it if they wanted to connect to it.
If 9 national
Right.
owners wanted to even entertain a phone call,
Right.
so.
Mr. Starkey?
I agree, that was the first thing I talked to her about, is that, well, we need that to connect, but I got what you just got. But also, I was concerned about the width of the bicycle pedestrian access, and I'm very happy that it's 8 feet. This could be a golf cart community, and I know we keep talking about them going to Lowe's, but the reality is, hopefully they're gonna go to those restaurants and help keep those restaurants afloat, probably more than they're gonna go to Lowe's, so, but they can tootle around in their golf carts from this neighborhood
They can,
next, yeah.
that's correct. They'll be able to access all of that commercial, including Ruby Tuesdays and,
I do question why we didn't make, whoever put that pond in, put a sidewalk along the front of it. What was missing in our code? I know you and I have talked about missing gaps all over the place, and that just seems like we missed something staff-wise, or somehow, or us up here, that they got away without, what, the sidewalk goes to the pond and then just dumps you in the dirt?
That's correct.
That's not okay.
But I think, I mean, the county, your staff just brought forward an amended
I know,
pedestrian
but
facilities.
why were we
and
letting that happen before? It's just my question.
Okay.
They just need to look at it as subdivision review, because if you look at it piece by piece after subdivision review, you only see your piece. But subdivision review, they look at all of it, so.
All right. Well, that was my biggest heartache with the piece.
Yeah.
I'm glad my attorneys looked at it, and if you guys are comfortable with it, there's nothing they could do except go through 9 firms and try to get turned over.
We even took it to a private law firm that's what they do, and they looked at it and opined. I mean, what I'm testifying is based upon what they gave me, because I don't do that type of work, so.
Okay. All right, my questions are answered. Any more questions for Barbara? Let's go to public comment. Anyone from the public want to speak to this item? Either item, actually, you can have 3 minutes for each. That's item P38 and P43.
A presentation for the board.
Move to receive and file.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
As usual, they do a wonderful job of their presentations. What they didn't mention to you.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, yes,
Name and
I'm sorry.
address for
Alan
the record.
Rose, 10221 Hilltop Drive, Newport Richey. And yes, I've been sworn in.
Thank you.
And they did a nice job. Something that's not been brought forward is the connection to Rocky Sink. Rocky Sink already backs up and flows reverse because of all the development that's been in this area. I've been down there personally and watched it. I've sent you pictures of Rocky Sink flowing backwards. So with that happening, you're going to flood out Cranes Roost, Bass Lake, and Golden Acres. Thank you very much. That's the important part of this, because it's not being addressed. In a lot of our developments, a lot of people are not addressing the riparian flow of our waterways, and you're going to see more and more flooding. I already have seen enough flooding in Golden Acres. It can all be fixed, but it's not being addressed. You know, Rocky Sink can have an alternative outflow, but it doesn't right now because it hasn't been addressed. The Tanglewood spillway, you have a 2-foot difference in water flow from the top to the bottom, even with the gates open. Shouldn't be, because there's so many blockages in the Tanglewood spillway. This development will put pressure on our side of the road because that's where we have a natural spillway out to Rocky Sink. Then also to our east, the development Tanglewood will see the riparian flow being pressured to them. And since the Tanglewood spillway is non-functional, Tanglewood will flood out. That's my point. And I gave you a presentation. This presentation will apply to others throughout the county. I've been out to Dade City. I've witnessed the same similar activities happen in Dade City. And quite often, you know, you have all of the beautiful drainage ditches and whatnot designed. They're designed to contain the pollution in accordance with DEP regulations. There is nothing out there that I have found yet that's addressing the riparian flows and the additional flow that we're going to be encountering, especially in my neighborhood. Thank you.
Anyone else here to speak to this item?
On
Okay.
those
Commissioner
comments,
Starkey.
on those comments that he was making, I seem to recall when Commissioner Wells was up here, they did a lot of work on that, in that area. Drainage work on what do you call it, Rocky something?
As I
So-
recall, part of Magnolia Valley was going to be able to actually build it, that we were going to build it, actually would be able to hold water coming from the east or the west, so that could actually take some water from this area here. I can say, Alan, if you watch the apartments on Ridge Road up there, they were being built in the Tanglewood entryway. I did have, there was one area there, was like a wetland that was kind of low. I did have it checked out thoroughly. David Allen did a great job with his team. And there wasn't a connection to Rock Sink. It was just a low area where the water drained to.
That connects to the Tanglewood spillway, not the Rocky Sink.
Well, and but I will address, I brought up the Tanglewood spillway. We will take a look at that. But just that one area, I had some calls on it that I did look at.
And what they changed looks very nice, and that should appropriate handle that section.
Yeah.
but it's gonna cause a lot more pressure, and Tanglewood's gonna see.
I'd be
If you
happy-
get this on the other side,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a lot of flooding in Tanglewood.
I'd be happy to work with you and Branford to go look at that and study that issue where it's off to make sure we can, if there's the correct ability to correct that.
Thank you. Right, and we are already flooding across Ridge Road on the other side because that's a natural spillway for us. That's how it was built and designed, and you can go over there and watch the flow go under Ridge Road. down
Come on up to the mic so we can pick you up, sorry.
You can go and watch the flow from Tanglewood, Bass Lake. You can watch that flow going to Rocky Sink. But because of all the developments that's been to the south of Rocky Sink now, it doesn't naturally flow like it used to. It fills up fast, and then it reverses course, and it floods back in. I watched all of the docks in Bass Lake go underwater, and I watched homes. We all have acreage, okay? And I watched everyone dealing with their livestock.
And I'm
it
still
was
working
not happy.
in the cross connection of Timber Oaks with you, but if you would get with Colleen, let us get the meeting set up.
Okay.
Thanks. All right, so no one else to speak to this item. We'll close public comment. No one online?
No, sir.
Okay, so to the board.
Move approval?
First, hang on. First item would be P38.
P38. Roll
Uh,
call.
Excuse me, I want to make sure that the motion includes the addition of the street tree.
Wouldn't,
That'll be the
We're
second
doing
one?
P38.
Next one.
P38 is land use first. I have a motion from Commissioner Oakley
move approval?
Second.
and a second, Commissioner Starkey. Roll call vote.
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Chairman Mariano.
Aye. I'll go item P43.
Mr. Chairman, before you take a motion, let's get the conditions straightened out. Barbara, I'm looking at 10A, that's already in your conditions. I know what you want to do, let me get there. Which reads, each single-family detached lot shall have a minimum of two trees on or in front of the lot, one of which may be in the side or backyard, and one of which must be in the front of the home. Strike, but may be either, and say, additionally, a street tree shall be in the front of the lot.
That is not a crepe myrtle
Well,
or
you're-
understory tree.
That must be a canopy tree.
Yep.
That work for you?
Yep.
Yeah, is that, so are we requiring 3 trees?
I thought that was the offer.
Okay, I know, I was
Yes.
trying to grab my engineering.
But one can
so-
be in the back.
So, yeah, so I left the minimum of 2 trees and then have additionally a canopy street tree. Additionally, there shall be a canopy street tree.
In the
Or is
front.
that shade tree? Let's have
Street tree.
the engineer help us word.
Jeremy Couch, Tampa Civil, I have been sworn. Mr. Steinsnyder, I'm thinking it should say, each single-family detached lot shall have a minimum of 3 trees. And then,
You got to do more work if you do that.
No, that's what they have to do.
one of which shall be a shade species street tree located between the back of curb and face of sidewalk.
Okay, now, so you raised the question to me. What do we define as a tree?
You have a definition in your Land Development Code, Commissioner, for what shade trees are versus
What?
ornamental trees.
Okay.
So there's a specific list
So
of
one
species.
palm tree is a tree, or it's 3
He
palm?
said-
I don't think those categorize as shade trees.
No, I'm not saying shade tree. I'm talking about the one that could be in the back or the front, the other ones. What are those?
So
I mean, are you going to tell me a ligustrum counts or a crepe myrtle?
I'll just talk to myself. Patrick Detter, Planning and Development Review Director. So lot trees are required to be shade trees.
Okay.
And we have in the development manual a list of different categories of trees: shade trees, ornamental trees, palm trees. So they will have to be of the shade tree variety.
Did you say a palm tree, was it?
Palm tree is a separate category.
Separate
There are larger palms that can be counted as shade tree, but no single-family home is going to buy one of those very large, expensive palms to count as their shade tree. So
Okay. All right, that was my question.
So
I'm
which
good. I'm
definition
good
do you
then.
want?
I'm good. That covers it.
Which definition are we gonna go with, though?
What?
Your definition is within your code,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't change it for a specific condition. You need to go back and change your land development code if you don't.
But I
Wait,
think that
but
was okay.
What, the condition, the
So-
way you spoke, or the way the
I-
engineer spoke?
I think that what Jeremy proposed is fine. So it
Okay.
would just be, it would designate a minimum of 3 trees, one of which would be a shade, a canopy, or
Or shade is the word.
a
Ed.
shade is the word he used, a
There-
shade street tree.
That is, so are you saying the others can be? No, I don't think, I think that is not the code. Let me hear him say what the code is. Then I need to,
I think
Hey.
Jeff was just being specific to, the code already requires those lot trees to be shade trees.
Yeah.
I think Jeff was also just specifically clarifying that the additional street tree also needs to be a shade tree.
yeah.
Right.
I promise we'll get this wording right.
Okay, remember that wording because it's coming on whatever else is coming.
Did you want to put where the location, where he said of the tree, or no?
All right, so let's do this. So on for P43, we're gonna look for the condition from the county attorney to be stated, then we'll look for a motion.
Oh. Or you can leave it to the county attorney to approve after your motion, the actual language.
I think
We
it's
do that
pretty
often, and
clear.
we do a really good job.
They have to have 3 trees, one of which, they're all shade, one of which is a street tree, one could be in the front or the side, and the other one has to be in the back.
That's your motion?
Is that your motion?
Am I right? Yes.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
roll call it.
No.
Okay.
Thank you, commissioners.
I do think we should add that to our code, though.
Yes, I agree. An engineer brought that to my attention, that we were not requiring street trees. A flaw in our code.
It's the exhibit. It's exhibit D. Yeah.
All right. Ordinance number P39.
P39. We approve publication of the hearing of this matter. In the November 9th edition of the Tampa Bay Times, 2025, supplemented by an affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Good afternoon, Amy Toll, Planning, Development, and Economic Growth. Item P39 is the adoption hearing for an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan, providing for a comprehensive plan amendment to the future land use map, map 2-15 and sheet 19, from COM commercial to PD plan development on approximately 15.36 acres of real property located on the north side of State Road 54, approximately 0.3 miles southeast of the intersection of State Road 54 and Starkey Boulevard, and a text amendment creating subarea policy flu 7.1.80 Blackwell mixed use PD, and a map amendment to the future land use map 2-9, adding subarea map 2-980 Blackwell mixed use PD, and providing for additional text amendments as necessary for internal consistency, providing for repeal or severability, and an effective date. This comes with a recommendation to accept public comment and adopt the ordinance by roll call vote. There is a presentation available if necessary. This is also the companion comprehensive plan amendment to item P44, which is the MPUD rezoning.
I want to hear a presentation, please.
Sure. Would you like to hear them both together?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the item before you right now is the comprehensive plan amendment. As stated, it is a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment from COM commercial to PD plan development. The intent is to allow for a mixed-use development consisting of 290 multifamily dwelling units and 100,000 square feet of commercial, medical, office, and retail uses on approximately 15.36 acres. The subject site is located on the north side of State Road 54, approximately 0.3 miles southeast of the intersection of State Road 54 and Starkey Boulevard. This is also creating subarea policy flu 7.1.80 with the companion subarea policy map, as well as there's a companion or an accompanying MPUD rezoning. Here's a county location map. The subject site is located in the South Market area and the urban service area. Here's a visual of the context map. As you can see, it is located on the east side of Starkey Boulevard, just north of State Road 54. The projects or current MPUDs that are in proximity is the Longleaf MPUD, Starkey Ranch MPUD to the north, Mitchell SJP MPUD to the south, and Mitchell Ranch East MPUD to the west. Here are the entitlements that were previously approved in all of those MPUDs. There is also an 8-foot sidewalk on the north side of State Road 54. Here's just an aerial view zoomed in so you can see the subject site. The existing future land use of COM commercial. The proposed future land use of PD. This is a screenshot or a visual of the proposed sub-area policy. There is 290 dwelling units, multifamily apartments that are proposed, non-residential uses of 100,000 square feet with additional development standards in place that the MPUD will implement. Here's a proposed conceptual plan that goes alongside the sub-area policy of the comprehensive plan amendment. And the proposed amendment is consistent with the following comprehensive plan policies: the intent of the PD plan development land use, policy flu 1.6.1, policy flu 8.1.2, policy flu 1.8.7, policy flu 1.8.10, as well as policy flu 9.1.7. And with that, we recommend to accept public comment and adopt the proposed comprehensive plan amendment by roll call vote. And I can have the MPUD come up unless you have some questions on the comp plan.
I've just got a basic question. It talks about economic development being part of the, looking at it, talking about trips, et cetera. But the biggest problem I got is I'm going from commercial and I'm going from having 2 million square feet of COM to 5% of that 100,000. As I look at the mobile home park to one side, I'm looking at the storage unit to the side. To me, it's a prime piece of commercial property, not the best for residential, even though it's a mix of what's being proposed. But why would I want to take 2 million of commercial square feet when I've got tons of apartments up and down 54 that people are clamoring for too much? And I'll grant the commission over the past several years, we've improved the amount of people that are leaving this county to go to work, but I still think we've still got a long way to go to getting to what would be very, very successful to where I think our goals are. So I'm just wondering, why are we going to take 2 million square feet of commercial and bring it with such a heavy residential component and consider that's a good economic plan?
Sure. So with this proposal in the general location, I have the context map up to show you what the improved entitlements are surrounding. With the 2 million square feet of potential commercial, this is a free range of commercial. So you could still get a storage. There's no prohibitions, or it's not prohibited in any way. You can still get your self-storage, your gas stations, your car washes in its current platform, in its current position. I believe the zoning is AC, so it would need to be rezoned to a compatible zoning district, but the full range of commercial opportunity can still occur here. What the applicant is proposing is, even though they are reducing the commercial, the amount of non-residential uses that are proposed are actually employment-generating land uses. So they're your office uses, your or your medical facilities, medical offices, those types of uses. In the proposal, they're not allowing for the car washes and the gas stations, as we know, proliferate this area. Additionally, this is also in the urban service area. The county has established the urban service area for purposes of focusing their density and intensity in that area. And so through the levels of negotiation that we've had with the applicant, in an opportunity to retain the employment-generating land uses through the commercial opportunities, we've kind of downloaded that into the sub-area policy in exchange for allowing the residential to occur. There's also site design that was negotiated through this, and so it almost acts as its little town center where the users can still activate and utilize the proposed non-residential uses, medical facilities, office, and whatnot. There's also connections on the east to those non-residential, and then this also shows the Mitchell SJP with 100,000 square feet of non-residential that was just recently approved, as well as 550,000 square foot business park. So this residential use is acting as a companion to the non-residential uses that are coming into play. And we're not just allowing for full-on residential conversion. This is a mixed-use development that prioritizes the already existing employment-generating uses that could potentially occur through the CALM flu, but also managing it with the residential that can support the surrounding uses.
But the bottom line is, I'm getting 5% of the commercial that I have now, and I'm giving up 95% of that to hold on to this for office space.
Correct.
Thank you.
Can I add something
Commissioner
to that? Yeah. So, but there is a demand, the problem I have with this rezoning is there is a demand for light industrial and for office space. And there is an influx of apartments already. The sheriff's office concern was that they're already stretched thin enough, and we're adding more to that. And also, the road's in failure. So we're going to be adding more congestion to the road. And like Commissioner Mariano said, we have all of that land there. Why would we give it up for apartments?
Sure. So commercial actually allows for residential to occur. In the CALM flu, it is required to be vertically integrated if it is to occur. The CALM flu allows for 24 dwelling units per acre, so they can still get up to 24 dwelling units right now. The proposed amount of density reduces that to 18, so its overall impact on the network is actually reduced from what it can currently get now.
But you said it had to be vertically.
Correct.
That would have had to been vertically. This is not vertically.
This is not. There is opportunities for vertical integration, but it is not required.
Okay. Let's go to the zoning.
Sounds good.
This would be P44. We have proof of publication in the November 5th, 2025 edition of the Tampa Bay Times, supplemented by an affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Good afternoon, William Vermillion, Planning Development, Economic Growth. This is PDE 267778, the companion to the Blackwell CPA. This is the Blackwell Multifamily Office Complex MPUD. And before I get started today, I would like to enter some ex partes into the record associated with this project, as well as a letter from HCA Florida's CEO, Michael Irving, who expressed support for the residential here in relation to his hospital and the amount of employees they generate.
Motion to receive and file?
Second.
No,
I'll move approval.
Move to approval, sir.
Or second.
Motion to second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Take a pick, clerk.
The location map, of course. This is a rezoning request from AC Agricultural to MPUD Master Plan Unit Development District. This is for the maximum development of 290 multifamily units and 50,000 square feet of commercial and medical professional office on approximately 15.36 acres. This is on the north side of State Road 54, about 0.3 miles east of the State Road 54 and Starkey Boulevard intersection. The current location map, the current zoning map reflecting AC, the current future land use map, of course, reflecting COM. Here is a contextual map to orient to the south, like Ms. Toll had previously stated, is the Mitchell SJP Business Park, which allows for roughly 630,000 square feet of non-residential combined with 515,000 of that 630,000 proportion being allotted to the business park for employment-generating land uses. The Starkey Trail runs along the Duke Easement that we can see there on the west of the screen up to 54 before it crosses. This is the MPUD master plan, and this is the most illustrative version here that can show the commissioners exactly what an integrated product this is while retaining that valuable commercial frontage and window with office and much more neighborhood-friendly commercial uses along the frontage. So I think an important thing to note would be previously, like Amy mentioned, commercial, it could have allowed for a whole host of uses that fell within general commercial C2. Of course, they'd have to come in for a zoning, but in this MPUD, the applicant worked with staff to restrict those commercial uses to neighborhood scale commercial, which is C1. So we're not talking about gas stations and self-storage. We're talking about neighborhood serving commercial that's going to be there aligning the corridor, which is much more friendly to the walkability of the residential, as well as professional office to contemplate the residential component in the area. Here we can see the pedestrian facilities that are on the north side of 54. This project directly connects to those red dotted lines. I know that it's a little bit tough to see. Can you guys zoom in on just the plan and cut all the words out?
Ooh, that hurt my eye.
I think is that a lot easier to see the detail there? I apologize for that. I should have zoomed in earlier. So those red dotted lines there illustrate the pedestrian connectivity that allows pedestrians to go from 54 to the non-residential professional office and C1 neighborhood scale uses up the boulevard as you move into the project with angled on-street parking, access some of those park features that are both adjacent to both those first two buildings of multifamily. As you move north, the orientation of the buildings lends to the pedestrian scale as you move further north into the larger central park and finally towards the trail that goes around that stormwater pond. And I would like to point out that right now it's currently shown as those two reds being 5 foot, but the applicant has voluntarily agreed to make that leg running north to south 8 feet to accommodate for the amount of volume of pedestrian users that we could see here. As this project provides a pedestrian connection there up to the northeast to the existing Starkey Blueberry Farm, where a pedestrian connection is currently being contemplated through the residential subdivision. That residential subdivision and its internal pedestrian connectivity would allow residents both from this development to circulate north to the multi-use path along Lake Blanche, as well as allow residents from the Starkey Blueberry Farm to circulate south to the signalized intersection that's being put in here at 54, of which this project is paying its proportional share with Mitchell SJP, to be able to safely cross into the employment generating area. I believe I'd like to, can I move while it's zoomed in or not? Sure.
So on that part to this side where it'll connect up to Starkey, is that going to be a vehicular access, or if not, why not?
Sure. That's because the Starkey Blueberry Farm, its res subs were already approved with no vehicular access there. So the best that staff could do was work with the engineer of record with that site plan, because one wasn't contemplated there previously, and what we were able to fit there was that 8-foot pedestrian path connection to allow circulation up to Lake Blanche.
Do you think part of it might have been not contemplated because it was going to be a commercial site instead of a residential site?
I wouldn't believe that's the case. I would feel that, or actually looking at the documents, I wouldn't feel, I know. The contemplation wasn't contemplated as the MPUD as a whole. They actually had a connectivity plan that was approved with the entire MPUD, which showed their access. And at such time, when they provided connectivity plan at approval, that area of Starkey Ranch Blueberry Farm was always contemplated to be a stormwater pond.
Okay,
Mr. Starkey?
not exactly. Originally, there was a connection, but this property owner chose to take it out. When we owned that, there was a connection to 54. I don't know if now's the time to ask you. You and I met about, that connection doesn't work with all those right turns if you're riding a bike or anything. So we talked about bringing that 8-foot straight down.
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
coming over. But you didn't change the map.
Well, that's what I was trying to explain on the record. The applicant is amenable to that. He just didn't have time to change his plan set with the engineer. However, as a part of the motion today, if the board was to seek approval, we would like to add that condition in that there is an illustration that I sent to him, which is consistent with our talks that we had about both widening the path and changing the alignment to remove some of those right angles for bicyclists.
Okay.
Here's the one variation from the code. This is from 901-6011 to not provide a vehicular connection to the north or to the west. So if we go back to the west, there's the existing community there that currently exists and didn't contemplate any connection here. It's that is the Country Place community, and then to the north, as we just mentioned, the location of the stormwater pond, the best that we could do is provide a pedestrian connection to the north to Solita or the Blueberry Farm. With that, this project comes with a recommendation of approval with conditions from both the Planning Commission and Planning Development Economic Growth. I'm available for further questions.
Any other questions for staff? No? I'll hear from the applicant.
Afternoon. Steve Booth, 3030 Starkey Boulevard, representing the applicant. I wish that I had had the opportunity to record everything that both Ms. Knoll and the other gentleman said, because they've really laid out a good understanding of what this application is all about. And I think that I feel personally that it was addressed as far as the numbers were concerned of commercial and the various locations in the immediate area, especially across the street, where there will be what I would believe would be adequate commercial. As far as the access is concerned to the north, where they are suggesting an interconnect was not possible as far as the roadway was concerned because of the plan that was put in place related to what he referred to as the Starkey Blueberry Farm. But my client has agreed to the expanded sidewalk and will have to see how and where it's going to be oriented, because with the significant wetlands and the ponds to the north and the right turns that they spoke of, is going to be somewhat of an unknown that while we agree in concept, we think we have to have the opportunity to look at the actual suggested locations and working with staff to finalize a location that works for both parties and for the county. With that being said, I'll try to answer any other questions that you might have, and we do have our engineer available to try and answer any other questions that I can't answer.
Any questions? Okay. Time for public comment. Anyone here from the public to speak to this item? Okay, it's to the board. We're going to go to the land use first.
Move approval. We're doing 39?
P 39.
Second.
No, you'd have to.
Any further discussion?
Yes,
Mr.
so
Starkey.
I didn't know whether I should or not recuse myself from this, but both the administrator and the applicant once, and the county attorney said, do you have a conflict? So maybe if 3 people are bringing this up, I'll just go ahead and recuse myself, and basis of caution. And I do that because we have our own apartment complex that is approved, just needs site plan approval right behind this one. And my husband is working on a project with the Mitchells across the street that has 3 across the street apartments. So I feel I should recuse myself, just to be on the safe side.
All right. I'll just make a comment as far as, in my basic fundamentals to losing this much commercial space with so many apartments out and around the area, all the traffic that's in there, that I'm not comfortable moving the land use forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. We have over an abundance of apartments, so, and the road's already in failure, so.
You're on a 6-lane road right in front of this project.
True, but is 6 lanes enough? Look at the traffic that's out there.
Yeah.
How you gonna add the other apartments that we just talked about?
And I got more coming down the street, haven't built
They already
yet.
have approval.
There's tons of them out there, and it's just loaded with traffic. I get calls all the time about it, and comments all the time about it.
Yep.
So,
The tough part is sorry, Chairman. You done?
Mr. Waitman, sorry?
The tough part is on this is, you heard staff, it diminishes the traffic count pretty significantly from what's currently approved on the site. Always bearing in mind the challenges that you bring up on 54. That way.
There you go.
Wow.
You hear yourself now.
Better than coffee.
Put it back where it was.
So the tough part on this is with staff saying that taking the traffic situation at hand, and their staff is said it's going to bring down traffic volumes with this plan, which I do think it complements what's going in with Mr. Mitchell's project across the street, especially with the red light. But the traffic argument alone, I don't know if we're going to receive another plan that comes in that's going to have a lesser impact on the traffic situation. So, I mean, kind of is what it is at this point. So, I don't know what way to cut it, how many different ways to negotiate this project for what it is. Either way, I think I don't know. Either way, it's going to impact traffic no matter what. And again, it's difficult. The board, I think, needs to be careful to hold properties hostage in these types of situations, which we're going to come up against. Because it's almost like if you're first, you got in, and whenever a property owner wants to sell or evolve their property, then they're being punished, if you will, that no, you can't do it because the road's already full. It's a tough position to be in all the way around, but I just see more scenarios like this coming forward as Pasco grows. So just something that I think about, and I just figure I'd opine on that.
All right. Commissioner Yeager.
The one point is that it's been our board's position to protect our employment areas. And that's what I would have to say to that, is that we do have a big parcel that something could go there, a big employment generator, whereas we really don't need any more apartments.
So then, and that's the case, so then the traffic argument would be off the table then, which is the argument that's before us right now, is the big argument is, 54 is full. Well, the use alternative of this, according to Amy, it's going to potentially bring way more traffic than what this project could. So unless there's some other professional opinions out there that say otherwise, if you're looking at the big part of the decision being based on the potential new volume of traffic on this stretch of 54, then that goes the other way. So,
Let me give you my thoughts a little bit more, Commissioner Wade, because when you look at it, there's a few facets to it. And first of all, we've been hearing for years all these traffic studies about how we're not in trouble with traffic, and we look and we know there's traffic there, and we get evidence from constituents that say it's jam-packed with traffic, but they say it's okay. What I look at is this is a commercial site. It's got IL to the side, it's got a park to the side, a mobile home park to the side. On the land use part, where we have all the flexibility, say we like it or we don't like it, this is one to say, if we're going to create jobs to take care of all the other residential, is going all around there. And I've got plenty of apartments going up and down the road. And I got plenty of traffic now, never mind how it's going to get worse and worse. If I can create jobs there, I'm going to say, depending on what goes on there as well, it'll help not only economically, but I think it goes actually the other way with it, even though data will show to different things. It's a commercial piece of property. We're supposed to be protecting our tax base. Even with what this does for taking away, it'll take away jobs, number one. Why do we want to take away jobs? We want people working here. We're still at 40% of our people are leaving to go somewhere else. I want to see that number go down. And to take away a prime set of property that's so accessible to so many people that to go put apartments in it when I can create jobs, I want to see the jobs. Mr. Oakley.
Just in what you said right then, you're telling me that we shouldn't approve this because it's going to bring in more traffic. The road can't handle any more traffic. So Ms. Starkey's going to come in a month from now or 2 months from now, wanting her apartments to come in. We're going to say no also then, and we're going to say no to the next group with the Mitchells.
Hers is already
and
approved.
on and on.
Hers is already
So is the
approved.
Mitchells.
Oh, it's already approved.
So
Okay.
are the
Yeah,
Mitchells.
that was, the comment she made was hers and the property across the street had already been approved.
Diagonal.
Already been approved.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just FYI for what's
So
going
they
on.
don't create any problem that causes everybody from this point on not to be able to build apartments.
I'm going to say that, Commissioner Oakley, I've heard out there that people have had enough apartments. They don't want to see anymore. And if I'm going to take good commercial property and go turn it to more apartments, that's not what I'm hearing out there that the folks want to do. And in the land use plan, with what we have in front of us, we don't have to approve it based upon what we see in front of us. And I tell you, I think you were at the economic development program with Commissioner Starkey too, and you saw a slide in there saying there's actually an oversaturation now with apartments. They're starting to get to be too many. And I'm going to tell you, from what's even coming our way, I think we're going to see more than we need anyway. So do I need more? No. Do I want to see more jobs? Yes. I want to
So we're
focus
going
on
to
the
put a
jobs.
moratorium on apartments from this day forward.
I'm telling you right now, we're dealing with a land use issue right now. This is, do I want to take 2 million square feet of office, commercial space and go down to 5%? I'm going to say no. I don't want to see it go.
Mr. Chairman.
I just don't think that's right.
So,
It's closed.
right now, this situation is, not looking at this pro apartment, or for or against apartments. This comes down to the state of traffic and the congestion with what's going on around it. And so either accept the fact that 54 is full, and we're going to continue to be essentially, up against making decisions on 54, and taking the traffic argument out that DOT did not construct this road the right way, we just have to live with it, this board and future boards. So the decision today at hand is, you approve a project that creates less traffic on 54, which everybody's well aware of, or it doesn't get approved, and then whatever project comes in creates more traffic on 54, and then that's just the nature of the beast there. And so my viewpoint on this is the traffic situation, because we're going to continue to hear about the traffic situation, whether you're on east of 41 or west of 41 on 54, you're going to hear the similar story all along. So that's my position on this piece and on this decision today. And, you hear people, they want to have lesser traffic, but for the record, it's not for or against the product type. 54, I think our decision, my decisions, and staff's out there is going to be based upon the volume of traffic of projects that will be added to 54. So the context in my mind, that's for our planning staff, that's really what I'm thinking about, but I don't think there's any way around it. So I guess it's 2-2.
Mr. County Attorney, just as a point of order, I guess. We did public comment. We ended public comment. I didn't give the applicant a chance to speak. Should I have, or did I need to because there was no input from the public?
There was no input from the public.
All right, so
There was
it's-
nothing to rebut.
So it's to the board, okay?
Yes.
Sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to make a comment if I could.
I don't think it's appropriate. Mr. County Attorney?
That's completely up to the board whether you want to hear from the applicant's lawyer.
Because we didn't get a chance at normally a button, I'll give you a chance to speak. Go ahead.
Thank you. As far as the traffic issue is concerned, I think your professional staff is saying that it's going to reduce the traffic, and it's not, in my opinion, pertinent to say, well, people out there don't like the traffic the way it is, and therefore I'm going to ignore what the staff has to say. Additionally, about the job situation, I had not previously seen the letter from Mike Irvin, the CEO of HCA Hospital, which is just up the street, by far the largest employer in the area and one of the largest in the county. And he specifically says he supports this project as it will provide additional housing options for our 1,500 plus employees. So you're talking about housing then that the CEO of the hospital just up the street would like to see, because it would provide additional options for his employees. And I would submit that many of those jobs at the hospital are high-paying jobs. And then the staff also said that the office that the applicant agreed to on the front portion of the commercial in the office would likewise generate high-paying jobs. So that I really believe that both of those issues have been adequately addressed and should be considered in this application. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll go back to, I have considered all of that. When I consider, again, 2 million square feet of commercial that can go there, could create a lot of jobs, even all sorts of doctor's office, et cetera, to go in there. Now we're shorting ourselves to 5% of that total. For that reason, forget your traffic even. I want to see the commercial jobs here, and there's a great chance for a great office park. We saw from Lane Mendelson over in Wesley Chapel, this no office space where he's at, trying to expand out, he can't expand out. I got to think Trinity's the same type of thing, and the same gentleman that's out there with that could have built an office park there is willing to do something here. I think there's potential for something much better than just more apartments in the area.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Oakley.
I will say that the word about the hospital down the street, 1,500 employees, they need extra apartments in the area to house their working force. And for those nurses and all that actually travel into the area to work. And then they're close by, very close by to the facility they'll be working at.
And as we've heard, there are going to be a lot of apartments close by already, and there's even more right down the street that aren't far away either.
And
So
there's still
tons of
availability
supply.
in those apartments as well.
Yeah.
They're not full.
Didn't have a motion to say.
We have a motion and a second. Should we call the roll?
I moved to approve, and he seconded.
Should we call the roll?
District
Okay.
1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey abstains. District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
No.
District 5, Chairman Mariano.
Nay.
2-2.
You need a majority to approve a comp plan amendment, so it would die for the fact that you don't have a majority.
So no need to have the zoning either then.
Basically, you can deny the zoning based on the fact that you would have to deny the zoning based on the fact that it is not consistent with the comprehensive plan.
All right, do I have a motion for P44?
Move to approve?
No, you would.
To deny.
No, move to deny P44.
Yes.
Okay, I will second the motion. All in favor say aye.
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 Nay.
I abstain,
Nay.
for the record.
We can go back and forth with this. We'd have, we just had a motion to deny.
dies for lack of-
Denied.
Yeah,
Go back to the other way, get a motion to approve, we're going to have the same denial.
No, it's the same thing.
Same thing, it still just stops?
It's not, you
Oh,
don't
just
have a
get approved.
majority, we don't
Okay.
have a majority to deny it or approve it,
So it just dies.
so it dies, yeah.
For the record, with Commissioner Starkey abstaining again.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
P40 begins the zoning agenda.
Okay.
We have proof of publication of, we have proof of publication in the Tampa Bay Times, November 5th, 2025, but supplemented by an affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Good afternoon, Amy Toll with Planning Development and Economic Growth. Item P40 is a zoning amendment in the name of Dubulus and Little MPUD Master Plan Unit Development. Jean D. Little, Terry W. Little, Peter A. Little et al. It's a rezoning request from an MPUD Master Plan Unit Development to an MPUD Master Plan Unit Development to amend the MPUD and associated infrastructure on approximately 17.99 acres located approximately 300 feet south of the Little Road and Dubulus Road intersection. This comes with you with a recommendation of approval with conditions.
And
And
this-
there's an presentation if necessary.
This is on consent. It's our only consent item. Is there any here to speak in opposition to P40? Leave it on consent. Do we have a motion for consent?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Mr.
opposed?
Chair, there's 2 consents. No
There
pulls
is another.
today. Is that a record too?
Oh. Okay, item P41.
P41, proof of publication in the Tampa Bay Times, November 9th, 2025, and November 16th, 2025, for the meeting of December 9th, 2025, where it was continued to today.
Good afternoon, Joanne Ravita, Real Property Division. This item was continued from the December 9th board meeting. The Real Property team has received a petition to vacate a portion of an undeveloped platted right-of-way and utility easement that was filed by Compass Land USA Fund 1 LP. The vacation will allow for the creation of 2 larger lots that will be accessed from Gilbert Street. That's lot number 1, and that's lot number 2. The Transportation Engineering Department was consulted.
Let me stop you for a second.
Sure.
I had asked for the continuance, and all the commissioners agreed to it. I am comfortable with this item. Is everyone else comfortable with it too?
I don't need a presentation.
So in the interest of time, if everyone's comfortable with it, is anyone here in the public want to hear it and speak against item P41? Okay. Can we have a motion forward for approval then?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, P41's approved. Item P42.
Petition to vacate, we have proof of publication in the December 14th and December 21st editions, 2025, of the Tampa Bay Times.
Good afternoon, Joanne Ravita, Real Property Division. The Real Property team has received a petition to vacate a portion of a platted utility easement filed by Greg and Veronica Johnson. There are no utilities located within the easement. All utilities are located within the public right-of-way along Gaydon Street. The petitioner's lots have been unified, and the platted easement dissects them. The purpose of this vacation is to allow for future development. There were no objections to this petition, and the team recommends approval.
Okay. Any questions for staff? Anyone here from the public to speak to this item? Anyone online?
No, sir.
We'll close public comment. Back to the board.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll go to commissioners' items. Commissioner Oakley.
Well, that was the end of it. Let me find out where I'm at here. Only had a couple of things. Had the opportunity to sponsor the community leader breakfast, Land Lakes, last Friday. Shows a picture there. And then after that, went on to honor the grand opening of the Moffett Spiritus Outpatient Center on Friday, January 9th. And there we are. And that's all I had for today.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Waitman.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Yeah, just very nice. I figured you'd have photos. You're better at capturing photos than me, but very nice event at Moffett. Congratulations to everybody who was working on this prior to my time. Saw a lot of happy faces from working on this from years to present. And did you have pictures of Ford? You have the Ford pictures? Any of those on yours?
I didn't put them on the phone, but.
Oh, anyway, well, we had, congratulations to Jarrett Ford, Commissioner Oakley, and Mariano and I, for the opening of Jarrett Ford, which is pretty neat. We had Henry Ford II's granddaughter come present, present and be there with the Jarrett family. And that was a pretty cool piece of American history and American business history to meet her. I tell you what, she's, you can tell she runs the ship. And she's responsible for over 10,000 plus Ford locations domestically and internationally. And so to have her come to Pasco County was pretty neat. And then lastly, I want to thank Tony and the staff for putting together the Farm Share event that's coming up next Friday. And we're going to have it at Life Church, which is in between Oakland Boulevard and Old Pasco Road near the Grove. Expecting a pretty strong turnout, so I want to thank everybody at county for helping us put one of these on. I know it's been a long time coming for this area, and if anybody's wanting to come, weather might be a little bit warmer, hopefully, to help folks out. So anyway, just wanted to thank everybody, and that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Commissioner Yeager or Commissioner Starkey?
He's
not abstaining from comments.
I also attended, I think Commissioner Mariano did as well, but he had gone by the time I got here, the first new class of the Citizens Academy, so looks like another wonderful class. And I also attended the Spiros Leadership Breakfast and Grand Opening. I have a little story to tell. Some of you old timers might remember Renado's, a restaurant that was on 54. One of the Renado's is in my Bunko ladies group, and unfortunately, both of them have cancer. And she told me that they would be going to the Moffett Spiros campus for the first time last week, instead of driving all the way down to Tampa for their treatment. And they were so excited that they could just, go 10 minutes, 15 minutes around the corner and take up the whole day and drive to Tampa. So pretty cool that I have friends that are being helped right here in Pasco County. We had the budget and the homeless workshop, and also the economic forecast luncheon. And I attended the Riverside Village septic to sewer meeting, and I have to tell you a little funny story. Oh, you can't read the writing on there. But on that picture, that gentleman is saying that, we went for a grant. If you remember, Commissioner Simpson had told us he had set some money aside for septic to sewer conversions. And when we were trying to access some of that money with Representative Yeager, but we were, I don't know, we've not been successful with that pot of money, but he was able to secure almost $1,000, $1 million in the legislative cycle last year. But there was still a $4 to $5 million shortfall to take about 70 or 80 houses and get them onto the county system, because when it rains, their septic system is in the street and the sidewalks just turn brown. It's just, they have to move out, some of them, go stay with friends in heavy, heavy rain. So we're at the meeting, it's actually at my church, and they're mentioning they got $4.8 million from CDBG money. So this is 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I'm texting Branford and county administrator, like, I don't recall voting on this. This isn't a low-income area, so how did they qualify? I was about to get up and say, don't count your chickens yet, because we haven't voted on this with our CDBG DR money. And then I found out that the gentleman whose back is to us he is a consultant to FGUA. What's the name of the company? Edmund Jones? Jones Edmonds, and he got the project 100% funded with state CDBG money. Now, I didn't even know that we could apply for state CDBG money, but apparently the state got, who here knows how much they got? And this gentleman was telling me how much money he was bringing into all the other counties.
Oh, the state DR?
The state DR money.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm hoping that we can jump on the bandwagon and see what else we can apply for, and definitely get some more septic to sewer money from the state. And what else do they have that we could apply for? Because I thought that since we only had we got our CDBG DR money, I thought that was for the states that didn't get any. But that's not the case.
Well, we had a direct allocation, which is rare. Yeah, we had a direct.
Double dip.
Well, I'll find out if we can.
Well, I know we can because he said he got tens of millions of dollars for Lee County. Is Fort Myers in Lee County?
Yep.
He got tens of millions of dollars for Lee County to do septic to sewer conversions.
And we should have Elford and Sea Pines right on the list.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we reach out to them, Mike, and make that happen?
Yeah, Connor and I
They used
were
to,
just
they've
discussing-
worked,
yeah,
worked for us in the past.
This is a phone call. We'll check it.
100% funding. The people don't even have to pitch in.
That'd be huge.
Okay. I hosted a charity run for John Hopkins All Children's Hospital on Saturday. There is Mike and his wife. Is this before or after you spilled her coffee?
No.
I think this is during. I think her hand is dripping with her coffee, her latte.
Did you run?
I walked it. Yeah. This is my girlfriends and I walking it.
Mr. Tucker, we got a problem with this picture. Is it okay to wear shorts and a winter hat? I don't know. There's something going there. I don't know.
It was a
How
little
this-
chilly.
legit.
I actually had 2 layers of pants on.
It is if you run 6.2 miles on the Saturday morning.
But we had over 160, we capped it at 150, and then we added some people in at the end. But we raised, we raised over $20,000, which is great for our first attempt. It was a lot of fun. Our Parks Department, it was the second time they'd ever used their race equipment. And the first time they did it with 50 people. So, here's some of the pictures, though. These are great. Look, so there were a lot of kids here who were John All Children's patients. And so that's what we want to get, right? It was kind of emotional. But Commissioner Yeager, that your name is on the back of that shirt for your sponsorship, so we'll have to make sure you get a shirt. There was another picture of all the county employees that did it. Didn't we take more than one? Well, let's see. So we had a 10-mile or 10K run. We had a 5K run walk, which is what I did. And then we had this 1-mile fun run, and that's the one you see with all the kids. And they went up and back. So, and then they had the bounce house and everything. And so, thank you for participating, County Administrator, and look for this again next year. It'll be even bigger and better. Let's see. Okay, I'm taking up the time that you guys had a short list. Mike, I emailed you the list of the CDBG HPMG. Is that right?
HMGP, Hazard Mitigation Grant Program.
I don't recall us ever talking about it. Can you put that list up on the screen? Did you guys ever see this list?
What list?
Yeah, exactly.
There it
So I have.
Yeah.
We got how many millions of dollars did we get for that HGMP?
I think I'd like to bring Andy Fossa up to talk about the HMGB program.
HMGP. This is the pot of money that I said we cleaned out the Anclote River with for a little part of it. Last time we got some, Kevin Guthrie got us this money. I've been asking to get the rivers clean. But apparently there's already a list and we didn't see it. So.
I think he should sit down. We normally see him when things aren't the best.
Good afternoon, everybody. Andy Foss, Emergency Management.
Bring up the list.
There is some confusion with the HMGP list and the Local Mitigation Strategy Working Group.
Please tell us what that is.
So the Local Mitigation Strategy Working Group is a group of members from the county. It can be Public Works, Utilities, And then we have stakeholders, outside stakeholders. It could be hospitals, it could be community developments, and then we have our municipalities. They make up this working group. So what happens is, the county and all the members come in with a list of projects they would like to see be done with either HMGP money, it could be FMA money, it could be HLMP money.
FMA.
Flood mitigation assistance.
Flood mitigation.
And there's a few other grants. I can't tell you off the top of my head because there's so many of them. So what happens is the group comes in with their projects. The group rates the projects and they form a list from 1 to whatever, 21, 22, 23 projects. As these grants come over, like especially the hazard mitigation grant program, which we can do elevation, acquisition, stormwater project, generator projects, building hardening projects. As we go down the list, because we have to go down in chronological order, we pick these projects out and we submit them into the state and then through FEMA. As these projects get approved and funded, then that project gets packaged up, comes to us, then we package it up, and we present it to the board for approval. So half of these that you see on this list right now, and you can see on the right-hand side, they tell you where they're at right now, application review. Some have been closed, some have been approved. When they get approved at that level and they come back to us is when you guys see them.
There's 4 pages. This isn't all of it. Where's the other pages?
Can someone cycle? Thanks.
What does it mean when it says backup? Like take a Sunfish Drive elevation backup?
I'd have to see it. I don't have the list in front of me.
My issue is, why weren't we part of this?
So I think, yeah, if I may, Commissioner. So Andy, I think really what I'm hearing from Commissioner Starkey, and I don't know how long the process has been the way that it is, right?
Right,
So
since
stakeholders.
2015.
So since 2015, this has just been the process by which that the county has undergone. So stakeholders come together and they look at criteria and they prioritize these across these various grant funding sources, which are not necessarily guaranteed. And then you just said they come chronologically. I mean, I saw things from storms from Debbie. That's why I'm asking.
So that is just a list of just the HMGP stuff.
Okay.
So
Anyway, but anyways, just to cut to the heart of the matter here, if you know, I think this board is used to having transparency with prioritizing things when it comes to, say, opioid funding or other types of programs. You know, there's a lot of minutia with this, but if the board would like us to revisit the policy that's been in place for 10 years to bring back things that would allow the board to help set priorities as well, I am happy to do that. It's a lot of money. There's a lot of things that go on with it, but I would prefer that we have a presentation available to it that can walk through what this program is about, what the dollars are, and what the appropriate, when it would be appropriate to have board input into it. What I'm hearing you say, though, is that, hey, there's projects that we don't even see it until it comes forward for approval, and maybe that you'd like to have a thumbprint on that prior to, and happy to do that. We just need to find out the right way to do
This isn't the first time I
it.
brought up the HGMP, the CDBG HGMP, HMGP money.
Hazard mitigation grant.
I brought it up, and I don't know what now these are FEMA's, I don't know, Pasco County Project number 2, number 4. Why are the rivers not in here? Cleaning the rivers. And you heard the presentation this morning. What happened to that?
Because those projects that you see on that list come from the various departments. It could be Public Works.
Well, are we not a department?
No.
We don't get to have
You're not a
input? We don't get to have input in how any of this money is spent? That's part of my problem here.
And that's what I'm hearing you say, and
But this isn't the first time I said it. That's my problem. I've been asking about these.
does the board agree? If the board wants that, then we will do it.
Well, I'll go if I could. You know, when I look at, you got Fed share, non-Fed share. That means whip hand. Anytime this body's gonna spend money and approve it, I think early in the process is the appropriate time. Have a recommending body out there, we have different stakeholder groups, but before this gets submitted anywhere, it should be in front of us to see which ones we wanna put through.
Yeah.
Now, I will see there's a ton of projects here. They don't seem like to be a lot of large scale, a lot of it looks like small scale. But if it doesn't hurt us to go forward to put projects in, so be it. But I hate to get something approved, especially that's been submitted now, and then say, oh, we didn't want to do it. Though I do see a couple of city projects that frankly we've given, I see Pasco County Town and Country Villas here for $939,000, and I've given them $2 million of our money already. And they're gonna be now blighted, and I'm gonna give them money. I'm gonna go take Bay Head Road, Bay Boulevard and whatever in the city of Port Richey and go put money to that when I know they got a big stormwater pond that I should be working with DOT and us to go clean that thing out to get that southern outfall done before I go raise the road. I should fix the flooding first. So, yeah, I think we should be looking at all these things. And if it's appropriate, now may be a good, not today, but shortly might be a good.
So let me clarify a little bit. When these items are selected, say the city of Newport Richey put a stormwater project in, we submit the project's in. If that project gets approved, we do not manage that. We do not put any funding towards it. That we let them know your project has been approved and you guys can move forward with it.
But if that's money that could have come to this county instead of the city, then there's a problem.
I understand that, but unfortunately by statute, it's a stakeholder group. The stakeholders are the ones that formulate the list and rank the list. We do not have, as the chair and co-chair, we do not have say over that.
So let me, that's why I say I want to bring something back to the board, because I think there are some nuances that need to be discussed and to understand that it may or may, I don't even know myself. And so I need to sit with Andy, let us come back to the board with a presentation on how HMGP works from both the statutory perspective and from the board. And again, we find out what the appropriate point is for the board to provide its interjection into this. And I understand exactly what you're saying, Commissioner Mariano, 100%.
In light of this conversation, the way it's going and the information that we're kind of talking about, I think it's probably better off to do one-on-ones first, then bring it to the board.
100%.
Do what first?
Okay.
One-on-ones first.
And so if the process was different departments put in what they wanted, there was no consideration for cleaning out any of the rivers?
I don't know, Commissioner. I don't have a good answer for you on that. You know, we look to the departments to look at whatever the qualifications are for the dollars, other sources of funding for projects and things. There's a whole host of things that go into it. But we will look at that. I'm committed to being transparent with the board on that. But let me go through the process with Director Fossa here. We'll brief you individually on how it works and then see what would be appropriate, if anything, to make changes to it.
All right, so so then I have two requests. One, bring us what the cost was for the last cleanup that we did of the Anklet River from Starkey Boulevard to Little Road when Kevin was here. And then please put the county commission districts on here so you get an idea of what part of the county this is in, because I don't want to go into each one and try and figure out where they are. Some I know and some I don't.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Commissioner Starkey, just to add, if I add on to just what you're saying?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of funding done from Tarpon Springs all the way up Anklet River. We know we wanted to get to Celtic Drive, just like the gentleman was talking about today. So I think it's, as we look at our federal stuff, to maybe add that into the mix as we look at it too.
Yeah, that dredging that Congressman Bilirakis got for Tarpon doesn't come to the county. You know, that went over to downtown, down to Tarpon for their shipping and fishing, whatever. They boats couldn't come out, it silted in. Yeah, but certainly we need to be making our rivers more navigable so that the water flows better and we get the water out. I mean, that should be, seems like kind of 101 to clean the river so the water flows out. I don't know. Okay, then maintenance issues. What was that one on? I don't remember what that one was on. So I wanted to note that when the woman spoke from the Food Policy Council, Charles, I can't remember his last name, the guy who had the museum, Charles Adar or something like that. We all went to the museum. He's about to move out of the county. He is about to move to St. Pete and put a museum in where all those other museums are, because he don't have any space where he is, and he can't. Have you guys, I don't know if you've been to see his museum.
The maps.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. And, you know, we had an opportunity to have that Arts and Crafts Museum in Pasco County. That guy wanted it to be in our county. I never met him. He met with Commissioner Hildebrand years ago and wanted to donate it to the county. He actually had done a lot of work, Commissioner Oakley, and he had discovered that no hurricanes had really ever hit the Dade City area. It was high and dry, it wouldn't flood. And so it's a gentleman that's had this amazing collection, and he was looking for a home for it. And the Mitchell family had an amazing museum
But Dade
collection.
City wouldn't flood or get hit by a hurricane?
So but he ended up putting it in St. Pete.
What about Gulf High School?
Well, that's where the guy is now, but there's not enough.
No,
Oh.
he's at Wendell.
He's at Ridgewood. Yeah, he's at Wendell Quinn. I don't know, but
Gulf High School.
we were gonna try and see if we could come up with any space. I don't know what we have or help him, but my brother just went to see him because he inherited some antiquities from my mom, and he told him that he's probably gonna be moving out soon because there's no space here for him. So we don't have a lot of culture here, that, and
I know, I've been racking my brain too,
Yeah.
trying to help that guy.
So, okay.
And especially your grandchild would love it if you've never been.
I've been to it.
They have a
It's really-
dinosaur egg that shows an X-ray of the baby dinosaur.
Yeah.
And you can touch everything. It's really cool.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for me.
Okay. All right, well, I won't repeat everybody, but
Commissioner Yeager.
this was Moffett.
Oh,
And there's,
look
I
at
don't-
Lee Moffett in that picture. It's a great picture of Lee.
Which one? Where?
Lee Moffett.
Oh,
in
yeah,
that.
great shot, great shot.
So I won't repeat what everybody said, but it was an amazing celebration and looking forward to everything else they have coming down the pipeline. I don't have a picture, but I was at Magnolia Valley Civic Association meeting on Saturday. And I just want to give a shout out to staff because they were amazing. Nicole Allen just jumped right in. She's brand new, and she was just holding her own, and I was so proud of her. She was able to answer all their questions. We had Panos there. Panos did a great job, and he got a lot of heat, and he did great. We had Pasco County Sheriff's Office out there just talking about Neighborhood Watch. It was a great meeting. So all good. They have some questions, and Miss Grace introduced herself today, so we are getting with the team and trying to see if we can get all their questions answered. One of their concerns was the Magnolia Valley Golf Course is only mowed really when they have events. So we're going to try and get them on the rotation so it looks nice. And that's about it. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Starkey, you had something?
Yeah, I need to talk to you about something that I've been asked to bring forward. David had to leave, and he could help explain this better than me, but you might remember when Starkey Ranch was being developed, and we didn't have the money to build a park. Wheelock and the developer and Wheelock came forward. Well, the development team came forward and offered to fund the maintenance of that park for, I don't know if it was 6 or 8 years. They put land into it. They were just a great partner. It actually was the first P4 in the country to do with the school district and the county and the developer. And just a very, very unusual deal. I wish we could do more deals like that. But the gentleman who put that all together and spearheaded it, his name was Matt Call. I don't know if you guys remember meeting him. You wouldn't have met him, Commissioner Yeager. But he was in his early 40s and developed pancreatic cancer and passed away a couple months ago, very sadly. Left 2 young children. But we've been asked if we would consider naming the fields, either the fields or the gymnasium after him for all the work he did in putting that together. We think the fields are better, doesn't involve the school district. So we'd like to, it's commissioner driven, so we need to get approval here to put up a sign calling the fields the Matt Call Memorial Fields.
I love that idea.
So that's a motion.
Who is that now?
Commissioner, I don't have any objection to what you're saying, but there is a process in the Land Development Code for naming stuff.
Okay, this is what I was told to
And
do.
so I would think that we would follow that process.
Is this how it gets started?
So it's interesting too, because I had asked Eric if we had had a policy on the naming of facilities. It looked like there was one that was developed under the previous administrator, but never really executed in. If you just give me a meeting, just one board meeting cycle, we can maybe bring something back that kind of makes sure that we check all the boxes with the LDC and make sure that if we want to approve this policy, and then that way it's all formal and we can, have all the right reasons and everything put into place, and
That works.
it's documented well. So I'll just bring that back on the 3rd if that's okay. With that direction from the board to name those ball fields that, and then that way it'll all.
I don't mind a discussion on it, but this is like flat-footed to it, so I'd like more information.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Garbella.
Thank you, sir. Just one item. Several months ago, the board had approved the short list of design-build firms for the Wesley Center Progressive Design Build, and then provided to the county administrator.
What center?
Wesley Center, so the Wesley Chapel wastewater treatment plant, right off of I-75 near Overpass Road.
Okay.
So a progressive design build to expand the treatment capacity of that plant. For reasons that I won't get into, this county staff is looking to reject the shortlisted firms and go back out on the street for that. So this is just an FYI to the board that I will not be executing that contract, that we are basically going back out for solicitations on that. And so there's going to be some changes into how we approach it, and we just feel that it's better this way. So I'm letting you know that. Otherwise, I have nothing else.
Okay, all right. County Attorney.
I don't have anything for you today. Thank you.
Yes, I had a situation kind of come to light that I mentioned earlier in the meeting. We went back and historically, the clerk's office has been providing minutes to be put on the agenda first for distribution and then subsequently re-agended again for approval, which we cannot find any basis for and as far as the quick research that Shannon did for us, I hate to use the phrase, that's the way we've always done it, which is not an acceptable answer.
No.
So without a desire for anything else or to do otherwise, I've spoken with Clerk Alvarez Sol. She agrees that going forward, that the agendas will the minutes will be just agended for approval one time. And if there is an issue, obviously it can be withdrawn from the consent for clarification or otherwise, but it'll cut down work on the agenda staff and ours that's duplicated at this time. So it's not in your rules. A quick look by the county attorney and by us, we don't find anything. So without objection, that's what we'll do henceforth.
All right, sounds good. Gina, do you have the pictures up? All right, so these are the pictures from Jared Ford. That's a local artist
Oh, that's so fun.
that did that picture.
Look at that.
His name's on the next slide, I think.
I think it's Seifert.
Mark Hanna. So it's a local person that did that picture, but I thought it was tremendous work. There's a picture with the Jared family and Cliff Martin, who was, for years, he was a stalwart there. He always did a great job. And Commissioner Waitman, myself. There's one of the representatives that's a director nationwide. I mean, 2 nationwide directors from Ford were here in Pasco. In the next picture, and there's Mrs. Ford right there. What a bundle of energy, I want to say. She was like passionate about it, just like the other gentleman was as well, and it was really cool to think about it. Just as a change in location for a dealership, these two national figures that love the brand, love the family, run business, and just are passionate about what they're doing. So it was really a great celebration. All right. So on the last meeting, I had canceled the meeting, or I ended the meeting, and then I called it back up again. In that, the minutes for, I was looking for an approval for a first annual Voices United Concert in 5K, which can be held at SunWest, to waive the fees to run the park. You guys had approved it, but I just want to get, maybe make another motion, get another motion second to reapprove it, so it's clearly for staff to proceed when they go forward. So it's again to waive the fees for First United for
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
motion. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to get, I've had a few comments over the years about Hudson Beach, getting more parking out there. On Armin Way, there's a spot we've talked about, in Brantford, you were out there when we did it. We fixed the stormwater out there, which is working tremendously. I mean, people are just thrilled that the streets don't flood anymore. It drains right out where it should go. But along the back part where we kind of like made the parking changes a little bit, you've got a lot of area that could work really well for golf carts. And I've talked about Clark Street as well. They want to kind of look at doing those changes. So, Mike, if you could, let's have the team take a look at it and bring something forward. I know we've talked about it, but he wants to come before the board, but I'd rather take some action and get something done ahead of time. We had a great meeting with the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery meeting at Leisure Beach. Very well attended. A few people that were showed up, asked a lot of great questions. The team was great. They stayed there until every question was answered, and it was good to be out there in the field. In December 19th, I got a letter from the city of Newport Richey talking about how they were going to adopt a resolution to include Leisure Lane and Van Doren. I got another follow-up on January 5th. I've looked at it. I've had my assistant Colleen look at it as far as the CRA requirements, et cetera. I think David Engels looked at it as well. And I'd like to get a report back on the CRAs coming forward to see what's going on. One of the things as far as, again, they're taking this area, which is certifiably blighted, but if we're going to add in these acreage after giving land, or let's say letting the land go to them, et cetera, and not object, I think it's time we take a close look at being 99% blooded. If you tried to do that now, since when was the first was done was before 2006, after that point, they would not allow you to do it until you had full approval of everybody in the area. So it's something that they did knowing maybe that was coming up, and we've been suffering it, the county citizens have been suffering it, that we're paying an inordinate amount of taxes to help them rebuild their city when we still have plenty of stuff rebuilt in the county. So if we could get a report back on it. Does the board have any trouble with this? And Jeff, is it just a matter of acknowledgement, or?
Well, it looks like they're, and I couldn't tell whether they're required to have two public hearings or whether they have changed the public hearing that was scheduled for tonight at 6 till February 3rd at 6. But it's, both letters say that the council intends to adopt resolution 2026-05, and which is the area of Leisure Lane and Van Doren. So they're having a public hearing on their ordinance, and I don't know if obviously getting something to there tonight is a little, I don't think we'll be able to do that. But if you authorize the chair to sign a letter concurring with them adding it to the CRA, but expressing the board's desire to have an equal area taken out of the the CRA?
I wouldn't go through that, because again, at this late hour, to try to make that happen, it's a much more detailed discussion, and I think it's something we should look at intensely to find out exactly how we want to handle this,
Okay.
not only their CRA, but all the others as well. So I'm comfortable just let it pass and just let it roll. We knew that was going to happen.
Right.
But it's just happening now, and with the second letter, I just wanted to share that with the board.
Okay. I mean, the second hearing is February 3rd, so we could put something together if that's what the board desired.
I'd
but-
rather, like I said, I've got David looking at it, we've looked at it.
Okay.
I think there's some things that should be looked at that we should go further with.
Yeah, my review of the letter is that it's the statutory required hearing that they have and notice to us that they want to bring this area into their CRA.
Yeah, they're just following the steps. Okay. All right. I don't have anything else. Anyone?
No, I have a question for you. And
Mr.
I
Starkey?
sent that photo to you of someone commenting about that canal in your district where people are dumping raw sewage at night into the canal and it's just floating behind their houses. How do we catch them? Are you aware that's going on?
Oh, I am so aware.
I would really like to throw the book at them and
If you-
find them.
If you look at that email, it actually addresses the governor every time he sends something to myself. He's now included
Oh,
the
this was
board.
a Facebook post, so
Okay.
I don't know who it was.
All right, so he'd been sending emails to not only myself, but the governor as well,
Well,
trying to push for DEP to look at it and try to find a way to go deal with it, so.
Can we can we catch them, or will neighbors turn each other? I mean, what's going on up there? It's disgusting.
So with different reports out there to see whether it's E. coli or not, or whether it's
What do you mean?
sewage or
It's,
not.
the poop is floating on the water.
I'm just saying, by the time they get there, et cetera, it's difficult. So I'm all for convening a meeting with DEP, Mike, maybe with the team, and let's go look at this problem. Let them go look at the letters, maybe get someone from the governor's office to look at it as well. Maybe with that extra effort, we may get some 24/7 assistance or something to be out there when it happens. Because obviously they're going to drop her at night when no one's around, and then by that time it goes up and down with the tide, et cetera. It's tough to track it.
So it is people in their RVs apparently, and they drain it straight into the channel?
Nobody knows, and again, if this gentleman had a specific address for us to go check, we would. We've gone out when all the RVs that were put out there with the hurricanes, they wanted to make sure people had hooked up, all of
Yeah.
them. So, but there could be some people in a boat that does the same thing, so I'm willing to, I would love to have staff taking a look at this and trying to take another step. I thought frankly, with the governor being looped into this, every step of the way, something would happen, because believe me, we've been dealing with this for years, not even just in this one area, but all around.
I read just recently, I don't know where I was, they were talking about the readings of the Anclo River and others. And, you know, I don't, that we have really high fecal content around here. And so I'd like to know if we're testing and are we seeing what the results are of our coastal waterways. But that was shocking to me. And wherever, I cannot remember where I was, they even mentioned the points per billion or whatever that it, and I never heard these tests. Have you?
Oh, yes. Matter of fact.
I knew
there's
up in
ma-
Hudson, but I
Well,
thought,
so this is Hudson. So,
but I'm talking about Anclo River,
okay. Well,
Cody River.
Yeah, and we had from the scallop season being shut down as a concern there too. But I will say, one of the things that I tried to go for years ago and brought up several times, I would love to take over the private water utility that's up there, or the sewer utility. They do nothing but, they send the stuff to us anyway. I would love to have us take them over and make those steps, and maybe we can try again with people that we work with to try to make that happen. But if the board would grant that to go, that would probably take care of some of that as well, because there's some people that aren't hooked up, that should be hooked up, and we don't know what happens with that stuff either.
So who tests the water? Is that,
DEP.
does the count, do we
There-
get
I
the
mean,
numbers?
we have some money in the parks budget statutorily where we do water quality testing. I know that Public Works is undergoing a water quality initiative to look at the quality of water in our streams and rivers. And so it's a multi-pronged approach. I mean, in this particular instance, I think DEP has the jurisdiction. I know we've
But do they give the
engaged-
numbers to you?
We share data. I can't specifically speak to what
I'd like
the
to see the number.
actual process is, or whether or not there's a clearinghouse for it. You even have private environmental groups that can go and do testing. It's not hard. You can take a sample and send it to a lab. But I hear what you're saying. I've seen some of the pictures. I thought that we had done some testing on
We've
some
done
of
a
that.
lot of testing up there.
And it had come, the counts showed that it was not
Well,
sewage.
Some of it was, right. But
Right.
some of it they also found. As a matter of fact, there's a place up in Hudson to the north of Clark Street that's got a bunch of trailer homes. We found out, et cetera. We've gone to code a few times to go in there, and we don't know what's going on from that. But the counts that were in that area right alone were like through the roof. So DEP's got a lot of data already, but I would just love the attention to get them out there when things could happen and try to look at what can we do to really look at this to keep it from happening.
I think that's fair, and I think we can engage in a conversation on that with DEP, get them out there. And then with regards to this issue, I know we have done studies in the past, even before I joined the county, through the stormwater division, of looking at water quality. And, and there's a lot of complicating mitigating factors with it. But, let's engage with DEP on it. Let's look at the quality of our water resources, I think, is an important thing, and I think this board has made that clear.
All right, Commissioner Starkey?
This brings up a question that this afternoon, sometime today, when we were talking, I guess it was this morning with Barbara Riles' property, I noticed to the right of Barbara Riles' property was an RV park, not a mobile home community. So an RV park is where they're supposed to leave, right? Once they get to 6 months. If you're in a travel trailer in an RV park, you don't have, how do you clean your system?
I mean, presumably, they would either have some kind of septic system or system on site for disposal, or, you go to a dump station.
So you would have to move your portable RV trailer to the dump station?
No.
You might have to come around.
They have a mobile one.
And it comes to your thing and dumps it out? Because by law, those are supposed to be movable. Yes. The RVs, not a mobile home. But we got RVs who have built all kinds of structures around their RVs illegally that, when they're not a mobile home, but they turned it into something non-movable.
Yeah, and I think the hurricanes showed us some of those areas too, and I know we're looking at that.
Yeah.
And I'll just add one more thing. Mr. Starkey, I think you made a great point the last meeting when you talked about crepe myrtles. They put them in this time of season. I looked in front of Ashley Furniture. I drove by it the next day.
It looks
terrible.
terrible.
I think that needs to come off the list as far as what we have put in there.
I thank you. I love crepe myrtles. I have them in the front of my house, but to use them in the context that we are doing no one any favors.
All right. Commissioner
Right,
Yeager,
thank you.
agree as well?
Appreciate it.
Okay. So Mike, maybe we can take a look and bring something back to us on that to get that off the list.
Crepe myrtles is off as a species of allowable shade trees or.
Yeah, and anything seasonal like that is something we should be looking at.
And remember to see if we can change the code about adding a street shade tree.
We have to do it to every
Yeah,
project.
we're already looking at that piece. Yes, ma'am.
Every project that comes up here, we're gonna have to put that restriction on it, if they will do it voluntarily, until we fix that. That's how we have to do that. It used to be, so in front of the strip mall, or whatever you call it, that Mark Gold bought on US 19, it has a Winn-Dixie on it. It has crepe myrtles across the front, and for the first year or two, they were continuously trimmed to the nub.
Yeah.
Never grew anything, and I finally called Mark, said, Mark, I don't want to have to fine you, but you gotta let those babies grow. But and they're allowed to trim it to nothing.
Yeah.
So it's just stubs.
Okay. Now, is anyone going up to, any other commissioners going up to FAC?
No, I'll be
I
there.
don't think so, no.
The next.
Just you and,
When is it?
just me?
I think it's
Yeah, I
just
think
you.
it's
It's
just-
tomorrow. Tomorrow's FAC.
Yeah.
I know several folks are heading to Tallahassee on the 3rd
I am
and
going up.
4th. I know I will be there,
That's
Ralph will
last
be
week,
there.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I think most of the board, so we'll try to keep that meeting short. I thought today's would have been short.
All
I
right.
did.
Are you going up today? Are you leaving
I knew the battle I was into.
Are you leaving today?
I'm gonna go up tonight, yeah.
Yeah.
Already booked.
Don't speed.
No,
No.
this is the first one I've missed, but yeah,
Yeah.
I just have too much.
I'll be there to represent. All
I
right.
still have Christmas in my car.
All right. Thank you all very much. We're adjourned.
I just sent it to Katie.